Hello and welcome. So in this video, we will be speaking about the 3JS scene essentials. So these are like the important things that every 3JS developer must know. So the very first thing that we would learn is the scene. So what is a scene? A scene in 3JS is a constructor that can be used to create an instance of scene. So what is a scene? Scene that can be used to place everything that makes up an environment is called a scene. So scene allows you to basically set up what and where is to be rendered by 3JS. This is where you place objects, lights and camera, and we will get into the nuances of that. So this is a scene. So suppose like you're seeing a scenery in your real life, so that is a scene. Okay, that was created by God or something. All right, so let's move forward on the next concept. The next concept would be a camera. Think of camera as your real eyes. If you're seeing anything in your real life, that is the camera. So that is how we want to set up our camera inside the website. So if we have created a scene, we will need a camera that will show everything in the scene on our website. All right, so we have a scene that we have created. Suppose this is the scene we have created, and now we are using this camera to show this screen, okay, scene. Okay, all right, so the next thing would be camera. Yeah. And camera will have 4 parameters. The very first one would be field of view. Field of view would be nothing but the angle that the camera covers. Suppose in your real life, the real eyes can see, like, as far as I know, it's 180 degrees, and you can see every object clearly which is in the range of 180 degrees of your eyes. All right, so that is what the field of view is. Suppose if it is behind your eyes, then of course you cannot see it, because your eyes cannot see in a 360 view, right? So that is what it is. And then we have the aspect ratio. I'm sure that each and every one of us know what is aspect ratio. We have 16:9 aspect ratio mobiles. They're like new mobiles that have like 16, I don't remember exactly, it's 18:9, I guess. So we have different types of aspect ratios. So we'll use a formula to basically calculate the aspect ratio. It will be very easy. You'll see that in the future videos. All right, so then we have near clipping plane and far clipping plane. So this is a little tricky to understand. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give a very easy example so that you could understand everything. Just take your finger and put it very close to your eyes and try to focus that. I'm sure that you wouldn't be able to focus that. And now just move a little bit far away from the eyes and stop at the point where you can focus the finger. All right, that is your near clipping plane. So the far clipping plane would be if you move the object very much, if you move your finger very far. I'm sure you cannot do that because that's your hand. But if you move any other object very far away from your eyes, I'm sure that you cannot focus it at some distance. So that is your far clipping plane. There is actually more to it, but I'm just gonna give you a normal example so that you will get a normal idea what is near clipping plane and far clipping plane. It's not very important, but it's good to know what is near clipping plane and far clipping plane. All right, so let's move forward. And the next thing, the very most important thing, and the very next thing that we will be needing is a renderer. So renderer is responsible for showing everything on the website. It acts like a director. We have the scene and we have a camera. So what renderer will do is that renderer will take the scene and camera together and render it on the screen of your mobile or your machine or your computer or PC, anything. All right, so that is what renderer is responsible for. It will just take the scene and camera all together and the lighting conditions and all of that, and it will just show it on your screen. So renderer is very important thing. Without that you cannot see anything. All right, so where does that renderer show? So it shows on your div element. Suppose if a div element has an ID, so we will see about the code. We will see how to create a renderer. You will understand everything as we move forward. All right, so now let's look at the code that is used to create a scene, camera and a renderer. All right, the very first thing is creating a scene. Creating a scene is fairly simple. You just have to create a variable and you have to assign it with a new 3.scene. So this is the document. This is from the documentation of 3JS. So this is how we are supposed to create a scene. Then of course camera. camera is something that will be helpful to see the scene. All right, so camera is this one. We have to create a variable called camera and like new 3.perspective camera. Don't worry, we will get into the nuances of perspective camera and different cameras in the future videos. Then we have field of view. As I said in this example, the field of view is 45 degrees. So we can see everything that is in the 45-degree angle. And if the object is like beside like a 45 degree, if it is in the range of 45 to any degree, 360 degrees, we cannot see that. All right, that is how it works. And then we have the aspect ratio, window.inner width divided by window.inner height. This will give the aspect ratio of the machine or the device. All right, then we have the near clipping plane that I've explained to you about using the example of a finger. And then we have the far clipping plane. All right, so that is how we create the scene and a camera. So now we have the scene and now we have the camera. So what should we do now? We should call a director and ask him to direct the movie, and I mean like show the movie. All right, so now we will call a renderer. All right, so this is how we are supposed to create a renderer. So we are supposed to write variable renderer is equal to new 3.webgl renderer. So it basically uses a WebGL and renderer over here, and we have to set the size of the renderer. In this example, I'm just going to set the size of the whole the machine, the device, window.inner width, the comma window.inner height. And then where should we show it? So we are showing it in this example, we are showing it in the div element with an id WebGL, and we are appending that renderer. All right, and then we are just basically rendering this scene by using renderer.render with the scene and the camera. These are like the two important things that are necessary to render the camera and the scene, whole scene, the scene and the camera. All right, so that's it for this video, guys. In the next video, we will go ahead and create our very first scene using Three.js, and so see you all guys there. I'm very much excited to code in Three.js. It's very nice and very simple. So goodbye.